and you're watching For the Win. I'm back this week with Shankar Santhiram from EQTD Consulting, and you can also catch him on light.my every day at 6:50 a.m. as well as 9:10 a.m. for The Right Perspective with Shankar Santhiram, helping you get ready for your day as you tune in while you're going to work in the radio.
Yep, that's my job. My job is to fire up and get yourself recalibrated before you arrive, all charged at work every morning.
Well, that's what you've been doing with us here at For the Win for the past 10 weeks now. So we're at the end of our 10-part series with Shankar. And I know it's just flown by for me, but I'm amazed at the amount of ground we've covered.
You're amazed that I can speak constantly.
Last 10 weeks. Actually, I was thinking back about the last 9 episodes and where we're at right now. So essentially, you've kind of built us into this pyramid, right? You've laid the foundation, and it all started in episode 1, 9 weeks ago, with finding your purpose, the need to have a purpose, a purpose-driven life.
Everything that you do must be founded on purpose. So every time something happens, so I want to go on holiday.
Right.
Why? Ask the why.
Or not to go on holiday?
Yeah, you need to ask
Do
the
you
why
need to
as well.
ask why
Of
to go on
course.
holiday?
Yeah, because how that holiday transpires will very much depend on your purpose. So I want to go on holiday because I want to rest. I don't want to do anything else, but I want to rest. I need to rest and recharge. So go to a beach.
Okay.
Or go to a mountain. Leave your phone behind. Pack as little clothes as possible. Don't make all sorts of appointments to meet all sorts of friends and acquaintances when you're there because you want to decompress. Right?
Okay.
So that purpose then becomes the be-all and end-all of that holiday. And then when you finish that holiday, you are so you've achieved your result.
That is absolutely true. There are some holidays where you just want to rejuvenate, and there are some holidays when you want to visit a new city, catch up with friends. Okay.
So my wife and I, Susanna and I, if we want a holiday, a quiet holiday, we will not. We love going to Hong Kong. I do some work in Hong Kong. My wife is a traditional Chinese veterinary acupuncturist, medicine person, thing, sensei. Vet. That's the word I was looking for. I got confused then for a while. And I'm going to be in so much trouble today for this as well. Every Monday I get into trouble with my wife now. Because I don't know, it's morphed into some relationship show where one day we must have my wife on with me at some point. We should, right? But anyways, we both like going to Hong Kong, right? It's really a buzzing, exciting place, right? But we also know when we go to Hong Kong that 4 or 5 days when we're there on holiday is so full always. We have friends, we have people we know. Susie's got vet friends that we go and meet and talk, and we start talking about business. And because I'm involved in entrepreneurship here, some of her friends will sit and talk to me. Like, the last time we were there, we had a kind of a workcation. I had a bit of work, and then we clubbed it together, spent a whole day talking to one of her friends who's setting up a new veterinary practice, and we were sitting and doing business ideas and plans.
So
and
it became
it wasn't a restful holiday.
Okay,
right?
sure.
But it was a holiday nonetheless for me. But that was fine. So when we want that type of holiday, we go to Hong Kong.
But you knew that was the purpose of that.
If I want a slightly spiritual holiday, we've gone to India. And I know I'll just get templed out after 3 or 4 days because, we end up going to this temple and that temple that wears me down.
Okay.
But if we just want to decompress, we go sit by the beach. Okay. So your purpose drive determines how successful your result kind of, is. And this is where many people fail.
So I think that boggles my mind because, the idea of having a purpose to go on holiday is actually quite, it's a unique proposition because you have to have a purpose for everything, right?
Just going back to that holiday thing, right? Parents, school holidays and stuff like that, right? When you're taking your kids off to Legoland down south, or you're going somewhere, some kind of fun child or kid-based holiday, you come back and you need a holiday after that holiday.
After that holiday, that's right.
Because the purpose there is not about your holiday.
It's about the kids. Okay, so knowing that in advance makes it better to achieve whatever results you want.
You're not upset then.
Okay, so that's, I guess, in every part of your life, that's why it's important to have a purpose-driven life.
Yeah.
But if we were to cover that for, say, your professional life, and which is what we spoke about in episode 2, really looking at defining your professional purpose.
What do you come to work for?
Yeah, why'd you get up in the morning?
Why'd you get up in the morning? Why should anybody care?
We talked about that. Money.
It's so which means if I pay
It's
you,
always money. Is it?
so if I pay you $50 more, you'll leave Astro?
No.
Rizal's going, yeah, I'm going. No, Rizal, cameraman. No, he didn't say that. No. But yeah, so money, everyone should ask themselves, what's money? Money is important. None of us do anything for free. We all need revenue, right, to run our lifestyle, so on and so forth. But think about it, right? How much? Even that's very purpose-driven, right? So if you're earning, say, 5,000 ringgit a month, as I always use 5,000 as a kind of a ballpark figure.
Right.
If you're earning 5,000 ringgit a month and somebody offers you a 200 ringgit increment, it's not even 10%, right? So you might not go. Somebody offers 500, maybe. Somebody offers you $1,000. What if someone offers you 2,500 ringgit to move jobs right now? You love this job, but someone else is offering you 2,500. Will you go right away?
It depends on what your purpose is.
Isn't it?
Yes, if your purpose...
If you're purely money-driven, and there is no shame in being money-driven. I'm going to tell you...
because you want a better life for your kids.
You just want money. Yeah. Sometimes you need money. Sometimes it's in certain times of our life, all we're interested in is amassing wealth. That's fine.
And that's fine.
And then the moment you have amassed enough wealth for yourself, and it's never enough.
Security.
It's never enough in your own mind usually, but there will come a point, if you find yourself just amassing wealth in the job that you do, but it doesn't give you happiness of any sort or satisfaction of any sort, and then you sit every day and you moan and you groan and you crib about life, then you need to take stock of why you do what you do.
Which Shankar brings us to what we covered in episode 3. Which was Ikigai. And I love this concept. It's a Japanese concept.
Absolutely.
So it's the reason for being, right?
Yep,
it's your sense of purpose.
It's a raison d'être for you. Why do you do what you do?
Beautifully. So walk us again through the...
Basic premise. Let me see if I can remember this right now. You put me on the spot, but let me try and see if I can remember this, right? What am I good at? What can I get paid for? What does the world want?
Or need.
What does the world need? And I can't remember the other one right now.
If it brings you a sense of satisfaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So really it's an intersection of...
It's an intersection of having all these things coming together at the same time.
I agree. Yeah.
You know?
So wonderful to kind of figure out, I guess, to discover your sense of purpose, your Ikigai. We're going to come back and take a look at how your attitude can actually fuel your success. More after this on For the Win. Welcome back to For the Win. I'm Melisa Idris with Shankar Santhiram. We are recapping 10 weeks worth of discussion and advice.
10 weeks worth of ramblings by Shankar Santhiram.
No, it's not ramblings, because I have to say that every time I have a conversation with you, I go back and think about the way I behave at work, the way my relationships with my colleagues, my co-workers, and whether I'm actually working in favor to achieve what I want to achieve, which is success in my job.
And if that happens with you, and if that happens with the people who are actually watching this series, then the purpose drive for me has been met.
Oh, brilliant.
Because I would like conversations like this to take place, because I think what we need in our country, more than anything else right now, is we need a sense of purpose, and we need the maturity to drive ourselves to get to that purpose.
We don't have a sense of purpose as a country, do
Often it gets confused along the way.
Because we don't know what it is we consider success or results, which is what this entire success consciousness series that we've done in the past 9 episodes is about. I have to confess, Shankar, one of my favorite episodes, apart from Ikigai, one of the episodes that really impacted me was the episode we did about attitude. And I think that was episode 4 or episode 5. A hope-filled attitude, but also a confident attitude. And it got me thinking about the difference between assertiveness and aggressiveness, and whether I'm putting out confidence, a confident attitude, because that all boils down to how successful I am. It leads to that eventually.
I mean, your attitude is always is directly impacted by your purpose drive. Right? Your purpose determines your attitude all the time. I have this little anecdote I always remind myself of, and it's quite funny. And when I think about it, I laugh every time myself. Right? I would happily go to a really expensive restaurant to have a meal a plate of noodles, which would ordinarily cost $5 or $6, but I'm happy to pay $40 or $50 if I'm entertaining a client.
Okay.
You and I are from Penang, so we are slightly kidikut, by nature. It's the island water we drank.
It's the water, yes.
It's the water we drank just made us a bit tight-fisted, But I'd be okay doing it if I could see purpose in it.
Okay.
So I'm out there, it's entertainment, or it's part of my brand building, or if it's part of doing something for my job, or it's part of buying a meal for someone. I don't mind paying $50 for a plate of noodles, right? But if I ask me to do it for myself, or if my wife tells me let's go and eat in this place, I'm just like,
So why?
It doesn't mean I love the money or love the job more than I love the wife. It's a purpose drive is so different, right? Okay. It's really interesting. One of the things that many times I've had arguments with my folks, right, is one of the things I like doing when I travel, and because of the work that I do, I get bought business class tickets for flights, right? And there's nothing. I mean, you're sitting in the same tube. You're just in front. I don't know, the seat's slightly bigger, the food nicer, whatever it is, right? I got into my head a long time ago that this one, the further forward in the cabin you move, the more success you have in life.
Okay.
It was just a thing that I did in my head. Right? Now when
it's a measure of success for you.
It's a personal measure. It's a bit nonsensical, but it's a personal measure of success, right? Now, what I used to do before was I would wait for my clients to pay, and then I would fly business class, right? It always made me feel better, right? Whether when I flew on my own, take out my own money, the Penang and me will come out, and I'll buy the cheapest flight and sit right at the back.
Not even the hot seat.
Who wants to pay hot seat? Just go and sit anywhere. That's it. But as I got older, I realized that I was in search of a feeling, right?
In search of a feeling.
A feeling. You buy a new car, right? When you buy that new car, that car is only new for a week.
Yeah.
Okay. After that, it's a car. It is a car that takes you from A to B. Right? So when you buy a second-hand car, which is 3 or 4 years old, or 5 years old, I always tell people, you buy a 2 or 3-year-old car or a 4-year-old car, I think that's a new car is a bad investment. I'm not a financial manager or advisor, but for me, I always think cars are bad investments. Right? When you buy a second-hand car, for 1 week, that car is new to you as well. That same feeling you get whether you buy a new car or a second-hand car, because third week, it's a car already. Whether it's baru or whether it's been 3 years old or pre-owned or pre-loved or whatever you want to call it, right?
It's in search of a feeling.
All of us are in search of a feeling. Okay. I mean, like when you go to work, what are you looking for? Sometimes you go in and say, this doesn't feel right working here. What does feel right? Describe what this feeling right means, but the feeling right here means I don't feel appreciated here. I don't feel like I have a say. I don't feel like, I can give feedback. I think the environment is not conducive for me to speak my mind.
Yeah.
I feel that if I have a differing opinion from management, then I will be blacklisted. You don't know how to articulate all these things, but essentially you go like, I don't feel good working here, so I'm going to look for another job. Recently somebody left my organization and I had a chat with him about this before he left, and it was so hard for him to articulate what was it that was a problem. Because I like to do exit interviews with people and go like, why are you leaving? And I'm quite personal and I do this, like, why are you leaving me? What have I done?
Okay, all right. Yeah? So then...
Because I would like...
Yeah,
and often... 5 out of 10, people will tell me exactly, because I'm leaving, consequences are nothing for me, I can tell you. It's difficult with you. Like, very interesting. At the same time, this person was leaving, another person who had worked for me after 3 years got in touch with me and said, maybe I'd like to come back to work for you. And I said, sure. But because we had that exit interview, he said, but we need to iron out 1 or 2 things that you normally do, which doesn't work for me.
Okay, all right.
And I was completely okay with that. I said, like, yeah. I think,
it's a chance for feedback. It's a chance to improve. What
are we looking for? We are trying to connect with that feeling.
Okay.
And most of the time we can't give form to that feeling. So we just go, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right.
Okay. So to be this, part of this process, this success consciousness, is to put words, or put your finger on what that feeling is.
And so in order for you to put that finger on that feeling, you start off by right down the pyramid, purpose. What do I want? Okay. What do I want out of this? What do I want out of this holiday? What do I want out of this relationship? What do I want out of this job? What do I want out of tonight? It goes down to even that, what do I want out of tonight? You know, sometimes you had a loose end on a Friday night and it upsets you because suddenly it's 11 o'clock at night and you haven't done anything useful on that one off day because tomorrow you don't go to work.
I do that for weekends. At the end of the weekend, I think to myself, my goodness, did I just waste the weekend? So maybe what I should do is at the start of the weekend, have a purpose.
Take a moment, sit back and go, like, what do I want this weekend?
Do I want to get errands done? Do I want to spend time with family?
And it could even be, you know what I want this weekend? Which is what I did a couple of weekends ago? Nothing.
Absolutely.
I want a little bit of nothing. So Susanna comes to me, let's go and do this. I'm like, no. This is so non-compliant, she told me. You're such a non-compliant person.
It's about aligning the purpose, isn't it? That's what makes a great relationship. We're going to come back and talk about how to build quality relationships, which was what we covered throughout this series, and how that at the end of it brings you the results that you want to achieve. More on For the Win after this. Stay with us. Welcome back to For the Win. I'm Melisa Idris. I've got Shankar Santhiram wrapping up our success consciousness series that we've covered for the last 10 weeks now. And you know, right at the bottom of the pyramid, the basis of everything that we've talked about is purpose, and then led up to attitude. And then attitude, I guess, determines your relationships.
Your attitude towards anything. Firstly, it's impacted by a purpose, and it is your attitude that determines whether you can develop relationships with people or not, right? So when you can't develop a relationship with someone, it's essentially because you've got a bad attitude, right? And purposeless attitude. Because no matter what, this word bad attitude, people always use bad attitude. It's not a bad attitude, it's just the attitude is always reflective of the purpose, right? So my purpose and your purpose are so incongruent, so parchanga, that it looks like, you know, I look at you and say, you have a bad attitude.
One thing that you said to me when we covered this on episode, I believe it was 7, you know, the goals, needs, concerns, and challenges, right? The GNCC. One of the things you said was, you know, what you should do is adopt an outward mindset. And I went back to the office and I did that because I felt like I'd been so focused on my own purpose and my own needs and wants that I've forgotten to think about what the other person needs. And thinking about someone else's purpose helps me engage better. So I invested a little bit of time getting to know other people's purposes, and I feel like that had made me connect with the people in the office. So I took away the outward mindset from that episode.
To be able to look at someone else, to look at their goals, needs, to understand that they have goals, needs, challenges and concerns just like you. Because we're so invested in our own all the time, we forget that. And when we forget that particular kind of important, crucial part of this relationship building that we have with other people, you become very disingenuous, you sound, you know, there's no authenticity. People look at you and go like, you always push your own agenda only and not ours, right? You are going to push your own agenda, especially if you're driven, right? So driven entrepreneurs, people who are, you know, who really want to make things work, right? They will bulldoze. But the best ones, the best entrepreneurs are those who bulldoze and push their ideas through, but look around them, go like, do the people around me, do they have capacity to come with me? Right? Do they have, where are they lacking? What are their goals? What are their needs? What challenges would they have as individuals? And I'm going to address them, because the moment I can talk about these things, immediately what happens is they fall in line. They say, all right, boss, okay, since you are going to look after me here, right? We'll go. And that's exactly what you did. You went back to the office and suddenly you went, you know, I have my goals, needs, challenges, concerns, but I'm also going to look at the people that I work with. I'm going to look at their goals. I'm going to look at their needs. And I'm going to address some of their challenges and concerns. The moment you start addressing their challenges and concerns, they look at you and go like, well, this is a great person to work with. It's a great line leader for me now.
It was also about aligning. So really, you know, kind of finding common ground as to where their purpose met mine. And I thought that was a great way, my takeaway from the show that we did together in week 7. And you know, that example about entrepreneurship, I thought, is really kind of encapsulates what a leader is, right? So if you know what your team wants and the challenges that they're facing, and you bring them along with you, essentially, that is what leadership is about.
We must understand the terrain.
Yeah.
Right? When you
Yeah.
understand the terrain and the people that, your resources, your human resources, as well as your physical resources, as well as your financial resources, you understand this, you leverage on it properly, you deploy them really well, and you'll get great results for yourself and the people around you.
So that word, Shankar, results, that's the apex of
That's
the
right.
pyramid.
Because
What does that mean, though?
That relationship building ability. So your purpose, attitude, relationship building. That relationship building is the one that also took it on to what we talked about last week, which is personal leadership. Personal leadership is all about having that relationship. Remember, after the discussion, we talked about it off air.
Yeah.
You said you've never thought about personal leadership, that connection.
Well, I never thought about leadership being having
you
a
having a
relationship with
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought leadership was about having a relationship with others. With
Starts
Rizal
off,
and with
yeah.
Salihin, the
Starts off
cameraman.
with yourself,
but
yeah.
it starts with
off
us.
yourself,
Yeah.
I must be interested in the results that I have. I must be so deeply connected to that. It's connection. The word relationship is connection.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
And that is the thing that, my dreaded, I've been dissing team building programs the whole time we've been on for that. When you get relationships right and you have the personal relationship connection, you can actually work with other people because you can develop functional relationships with them. You know that, we need to perform really well collectively in order for us. That's when you get true teamwork. Not when you go for a team building program and hold hands. And that's why I always love to invest time, energy in building relationships.
Okay, and this
connections.
is not something to be done over a weekend or weekend away with your team.
I mean, it's a start point.
It's slowly and consistent
Yeah.
investment in your colleagues.
And being around for other people. I will do anything for you the moment I think that you will do anything for me.
That's true. That's true.
Then I go the extra mile.
So let's
You
talk
get
about
all of this,
as results, right?
That's what you want.
Yeah.
What are you looking for? You want results, right? In every part of our life, we want results. You want results with your kids. You want results with your relationships. You want to go out for a meal and get results. You want to come to a fine dessert place like Fufu and you want results, right?
Right.
So I have a pavlova here and it's outstanding. I have a pavlova here and the result is fantastic, but people only see the pavlova. They don't realize the purpose drive that has gone behind the creation of the pavlova, the kind of good attitude that the bakers have had,
Yes.
the kind of relationship 3 or 4 of them need to have in order for the people who make the different layers of that particular pavlova to come together.
Yeah.
The fact that the person who's doing the purchasing of the passion fruit needs to buy the right passion fruit to connect the 3 layers here.
Wow.
Right? And everybody needs to be having a relationship with each other, meaning they all need to do their jobs really well because it's a building, right? You're building a 3-layered cake or a 4-layered cake, right?
The purpose is to bake a great pavlova.
The purpose is not to bake a great pavlova. The purpose
purpose
is to
is?
give you and me a great experience, isn't it?
And that's the result. That is the result when everyone works
So that's why you
together.
always go back to your purpose. And what do you want? What do you want? I always ask, what do you want? Be clear in your head. And I have to ask this question to myself in everything that I do. What do I want? So, restaurant. What do I want? I'm co-owner of the Crack House Comedy Club. What do I want from this? Why am I doing this? Susanna and I own a landscaping business in Austria. What do we want from this? And we realized that in all the businesses, we only want one thing. We're only in one business, the business of making people happy. Right? And then it becomes so easy. So the toilets at my restaurant, The Legends, is always clean. Right? Not because somebody's cleaning the toilets, because the person who is responsible for that knows that they are in the business of delivering happiness.
Okay. Because a dirty toilet can spoil your mood like no other.
Are we done?
I agree, yes.
Are we done?
Shankar,
It's like 10 weeks.
That's 10 weeks
Okay.
worth of, building up to the
Yeah.
impacts of this pyramid. Thank you so much for
Pleasure.
joining
Thank
me
you for having me.
in
Thank
this
you,
last
Astro,
and
AWANI.
sharing all your insights. I guess that's all for the win this week. I'm Melisa Idris and I will be back with you looking at ways to improve yourself again next week, same time, same place. See you then.